Focusing on movement was a pleasure. I had an athlete's body. I had a taste for sweat. How to put that together with thinking. On my building at New York Live Arts Now says thinking and moving. What is thinking? What is moving? Those are the questions that a generation of makers have dedicated themselves to, and I'm still dedicated to. I was an athlete. I was not a bad athlete. I was a first in my family, one of the first to be able to go to the university because of the liberal policies towards, affirmative action, we would call it right now. I was a runner in high school. I was interested in theater, and I began to do some. Well, I did it in high school. I directed The Crucible. I was in The Music Man. I got to the university, and my niece, who was my age, her name is Marion, she said, you know, there's these cool dance classes taught by this Trinidadian, and you should come check them out. I said to my coach, I'm going to skip practice. And he said, well, as long as you're working on your cardiovascular, it's okay. So I went to these classes and I was besotted with the smell, the sound, drums. Talk about diversity. Everybody was there. It was the early 70s. And I thought, this is a life, and I want to be a performer. And that's how I started. I met Arnie Zane around that time, who had graduated, and we went off to Amsterdam, Holland to discover the world, and came back again with a new resolve to be a professional. Was I always drawn to choreography? I think as a young performer, I just wanted to be fabulous. I didn't understand that there was a whole history of people who did something called choreography or dance as art. Part of my education was having my eyes opened. It's not enough just to be a fabulous dancer. Artists are different. Artists, choreographers, may have something that can outlast their career as a performer. That comes with time. I was interested in culture and interested in history, so I learned these things. And my partner was Arnie Zane, who was more sophisticated, Jewish, Italian man who had decided early on that he was interested in being an artist. And he knew more about it. And he loved me. And he wanted me to be honest. Don't just pretend. Are you educated, Bill? What are you actually doing with what you have? He was very action-oriented. He was part of my education as an artist, and I'm forever grateful to him. And we had the benefit of the first generation of video cameras. We used them in our rehearsals. They were very crappy, but there was an excitement about the new technology. And maybe this was because of our eclecticism, Arnie Zane saw himself as an artist before everything. And an artist should be able to pick up a pencil, a piece of clay, sing, do whatever. An artist creates something where there had been nothing. And I think that is what the lesson was that I learned at an early age. Focusing on movement was a pleasure. How do we learn how to think? How do we learn how to discern? And what is it that Immanuel Kant meant when he said a necessary aspect of any intelligent person is the ability to have an expanded consciousness? Expanded consciousness means that I should be able to project into your worldview, and hopefully you do the same for me. Then we stand a chance of actually having a productive conversation. That's what I think art making is. On my stage, I would like to show evidence of an expanded consciousness. The variety of the bodies, the diversity, the diversity of the elements that we use. Why did I start today by reading literally the lyrics to songs? Because it's not enough just to have their melodies, but what were the people actually saying? Those things are very, very important to me. Quite frankly, I find art that does not address this expanded consciousness as an enterprise is a bit pointless. A final bow, I suppose, that should be somewhere in the next 10 years. But I don't know if I can ever stop thinking like a maker. I know when I go to see an art show or listen to music or even meet people, I find that I am actually translating my feelings and what they're saying into stage movement. So does it ever stop? I don't know.